This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction after every single Rays game. My name is Jonathan Shields. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter at Johnny10Shields. And one of the most wild days in what's been one of the worst months in franchise history for the Tampa Bay Rays. They finished the road trip going 1-6. And I'm just running out of loss of words for what this team is right now. And and now they're buyers at the deadline, technically. So I mean, we're gonna get into everything, but regardless of what happens tonight, the Rays are gonna be 4 games back from a playoff spot because the Mariners and Rangers play each other. So you got 2 months to play. You're 4 games out of a playoff spot, and you got the defending champions coming to town. We're about to see exactly what this team is made of coming up right here. But we're going to talk about how Pepiot struggled mightily in a game where the team needed him more than ever. How the bat showed some life, whether that was just in one inning. How it was just a brutal day with the injuries, with the rain delay, all the above. And we're going to talk about 2 months left in the season. Can they turn around? And we're going to look ahead to the Dodgers series. But first, we're going to talk about the struggles that this team has been going through as a whole.
This is what you'll be talking about.
So there's 2 stories that the Rays have been going on during this stretch. Either they get a lead and the bullpen blows it, or the starting pitching implodes. This one, it was option number 2, the starting pitching implode. Ryan Pepiot was kind of as bad as I've seen him. And I thought that, this was going to be a game where he would come out and kind of show the Rays why he's their opening day starter. And he did not do that, unfortunately. It was really unfortunate. 4 innings, 6 hits, 7 earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. And that's just going to bring us to our turning point in the first inning.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
The mix of the first and second inning, you get the Stanton home run, 3 runs in the first inning. It's a gut punch, but not the end of the world. But it's the Rice home run in the second that made it 6-0. From there, it's like, okay, the Rays every game are probably going to score around 3 runs. I mean, hopefully, you never really know with the way it's been going. But so that doesn't kill you. It's going to have the margin for error after that is just very slim. But after the 3-run home run to make it 6-0, it's kind of wraps from there. And then, you get the Yandy injury in the first inning. You get the Chandler injury in the first inning as well. Then the Aranda injury, which the Yandy and Chandler, there's nothing to be concerned about there. They'll be fine. The Aranda one is the one that we're going to have to wait and see, what's going on. All while Jose Caballero is getting traded, and I thought the Rays didn't get enough back for him. I think what Jose Caballero brings is incredibly valuable, and now, he's going to be a menace to the Rays on the base paths and with his versatility. So I'm pretty surprised they traded him in division for kind of a lackluster return. But, the guys on the main channel will get into the entire trade deadline. We'll just talk about it briefly as we go through. But, in the fourth inning, it was good to see that the bats show some life. Specifically, Chris Morel getting a double. Surprised that he was still here. I don't think anyone would have taken him, to be completely honest with you. But now you go into you have 2 months left, right? You have all of August. You have all of September. There are 26 plus 26, 52 games left in the season. More than enough time to make up those 4 games, and the Rays have the ability to make up those 4 games. Can they do it? Can they piece together some wins to do it? The effort in the first 3 innings of this game was embarrassing. It looked like they came out and didn't want to be there. And I get it. You lost a tough game in extras the night before. And, they just came out and got dog walked in the first 3 innings. And, the rain delay didn't help the momentum the Rays had. But, now the front office did exactly what I thought they'd do. And they did a little bit more to buy. I mean, Griffin Jacks, are you kidding me? One of the probably 10 best relievers in the league. And then the Hauser guy from Chicago, he's a rental. He's under contract for 1 year. So they're putting some faith in this team to come through for them. So, I don't know what this team's reaction is going to be to all that, but I would hope that it boosts some life into them. It's tough. The Rays don't have an off day till a week from today. They got to fly home and face the Dodgers, who had an off day today. They've been sitting down in Tampa Bay area, resting, ready to go for tomorrow. And the Rays are coming off their toughest road trip the entire season. So we're really about to see what this Rays team is made of, going against play the defending world champions. And, it's going to be a battle, to say the least. And, you just got to start chipping away. You look now, you're 4 games out of a playoff spot. Okay. Just look at winning series, winning gaps in the schedule. So, there's 26 games in August and September. There's 52 games left. what's the road for the Rays to get in? I think you at least got to go like 30-22. I think that's at least the bare minimum what you got to do. And the Rays have not done themselves any favors playing their worst baseball of the season right now. So just disappointing end to a disappointing month, and the worst month that the Rays have had since I've been watching. I mean, just embarrassing. I mean, the Rockies had 2 more wins than this month. And again, it just felt like they're in quicksand trying to get out of it, and they just couldn't. And it's the same thing today. And again, it doesn't get any easier. Defending champs coming into town. But if you guys are in the live, make sure you leave a comment. What do you guys think of the performance today? What do you guys think of the trades? Leave a comment about all of that. Make sure you guys leave a like as well. Still a lot to get into. Excuse me, guys. Long rain delay. Long rain delay. And, it is the Rays have to pass a lot of teams too. So now when you go look at the standings, the Rays are behind or tied with Cleveland, Kansas City, the Rangers. Rangers and Mariners are tied. So you got 4 teams you're going to have to jump to get in that playoff spot. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Rays do, man. I mean, it has been the worst month I've seen since watching this team. And this game specifically, it was like a microcosm of what's been going wrong, right? It's either the starting pitching or the bullpen. Today was the starting pitching. And when both are going right, then it's the bats. I mean, they just haven't been able to time up a well-consistent game besides the first game out of the break against the Orioles, right? But they have been showing signs, like the bullpen has showed signs. How about Joe Rock today out of the break, out of the rain delay? I mean, he was fantastic. They have shown signs to why they can get it done. And, the bats have been coming around. And, they're facing the Dodgers. The Dodgers are throwing Kershaw and Snell the first 2 games. So, again, Kershaw has struggled a little bit this year. Snell hasn't pitched since like April. And then, you get Yamamoto, which is brutal. He was an all-star this year. But so it's going to be a tough ask to go beat the Dodgers, go take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. But, if the Rays, want to step it up and make it worth it, they can do it. So, again, I'm surprised what the Rays kind of did at the deadline, but everything is still in front of them. You have 2 months to go make up their season. Let's go do it. Simple as that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about just how brutal this day was, and we're going to look ahead and get your guys' comments right after this. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor to your favorite baseball drink, minus alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days at the ballpark or on the course or off, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and organized. And just like during today is a perfect example of why you need a 5 Hour Energy. 3-hour rain delay while the Rays are making all the trades, wheeling and dealing in the baseball world. You needed the extra boost of energy. And baseball is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape, ginger, lime flavor gives you the best parts of the ball game without going to chase down the vendor. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that's the number 5hourenergy.com. You can use my promo code LockedOnGolf to receive 20% off your order. The order is only valid until September 30th. One order can be used without other promotions. This code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusions, flavors, 5 energy shots today. So if you guys are in the live, make sure that you leave a comment. So again, let's just do like a quick synopsis of this day, right? The Rays get down 6-0 in the first 2 innings. Yandy goes out after the first inning because he gets belted in the forearm with a ball. Chandler Simpson leaves in the first inning as well with his hand. Both are considered day-to-day. And all things considering, that is a win for this team. Now, you keep going, and then that is when, what happens with Jonathan Aranda says. So, I mean, it is just brutal. The Aranda one hurts. It is tough to kind of comprehend what the Rays can do. Now, is that a Bobby Seymour being brought up? Obviously, we're about to hear what's going on with Aranda, but he's probably the one of 2 guys you need in that lineup every day. And again, you look on paper what the Rays thought this lineup was going to look like. Kim, Brandon Lau, Yandy, Aranda, Jr., and a bulk of those guys, they're only going to play about 2.5 games together if the Aranda injury is as serious as I think. Now, I don't know how serious as it is. If you're watching the replay, you'll definitely know. But It's just tough. It is tough to swallow that, the Rays, give up that lineup with only 2 games playing, and it's not them giving it up. It's the way just the cookies have crumbled recently. But let's look ahead to tomorrow, and it's going to be on Shane Baz for the Rays, who desperately needs a bounce back start, or he had to bounce back start, but needs a bounce back home start. And he's facing the Hall of Famer Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw 4-2 with a 3.6 ERA this year. Has not been unbeatable this year by any means. He had almost a 5 ERA in July. Gave up 4 earned, 6 hits, 4 earned against the Boston's last time out. He had a really good stretch in June, which helped lower that ERA. But in May and July, he was not as good, not his stellar self. So it's going to be interesting to see, what the Rays can do against him. Obviously Kershaw pitched against the Rays way back in the World Series. Obviously he pitched, before that, but he pitched in the World Series, 10 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned. Last year, I do not think he pitched against. He did pitch against the Rays. 5, and the Rays got on him. 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs given up. So in that one, Junior had a good game. Morel had a good game against him. So did DeLuca. So it's gonna be interesting to see what the Rays lineup's gonna look like, because I don't think Kim can be activated till Saturday. So tomorrow it's gonna be probably Brandon Lau and Josh Lowe in that lineup for the Rays. So it's gonna be interesting to see what that looks like. But now let's get to your guys' questions as we go to Gary. Says, really at a loss, explain why the Rays played so poorly in July after what was for the most part such a promising month of June, which gave the Rays fans a lot of hope they're postseason contenders. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've seen a flip like that just within 2 months. I mean, it is pretty brutal. As we go to Matt, he says, what do you think of trading Taj for Jax? I love it, and I'm not someone that is a Taj Bradley hater. But now the Rays bullpen options that they have: Griffin Jax, Pete Fairbanks, Garrett Clevenger, Brian Baker, Edwin Uceta. Those are your top 5. Absolutely loaded. Mason Engler, who's been ridiculous. Mason Montgomery, big innings day. Eric Orzi, hopefully they bring him back up from AAA. Hunter Biggie, hopefully he continues to get healthy. Ian Seymour, who's been really good, and Joe Rock, who was really good today. I mean, that's some filth coming out of the bullpen, and it gives you some optimism that the Rays can start to turn this thing around. So, as we go to Ezra, they said losing a base deal like Cabby hurts. Yeah, it's tough to send to the Yankees, man. I was a big Cabby fan. I was a really big fan of him. I love the joy that he played with. I love the tenacity he played with on the base pass, and how versatile he was. He was a little bit like Ben Zobrist when I was growing up. Ben Zobrist could play everywhere. So could Cabby. So we go to Edward Matthews, maybe a first-time commenter. If you are, welcome. What player or players are the leaders on this team? I think Yandy is definitely someone that everyone looks to. Pitching wise, I think Pete Fairbanks, Garrett Clevenger. So yeah, definitely some of those. Let's go to Calista Sheila. Said, Rays are making me depressed. Rays are making me incredibly depressed lately, but I still love the Rays. There's nothing I'd rather be doing than covering this team every single day. So Sean Bunner, like the surprise Jackson. I love the surprise Jackson. I mean, came out of left field. I mean, the Rays were doing some trades here and there that weren't too surprising. I mentioned yesterday that, the Rays could have traded Cabby. He was one of the guys on the short list to get traded, but I don't love what they got back for him. But yeah, as we go to Rain Man, who says not really worried about the Dodgers pitching. It's that what they bought and paid for that lineup. Yeah, it's obviously you're concerned about that lineup, but you're more hopeful that the Rays can put up runs to stay with them. The Dodgers are going to put up runs. It's can you put up runs to keep up with them? And that's why the Rays facing 2 lefties and Yamamoto, who's an all-star this year, isn't the most ideal situation. But I have some optimism that the Rays have had success off Kershaw in the past, specifically last year, that hopefully they can replicate that tomorrow, because, with this, hopefully just getting Griffin Jackson, getting Hauser, bring some life into this dugout, right? And, they're 4 games back. There's 52 games to play. There's plenty of time to make that up. And they're playing a lot of teams ahead of them. They play Seattle 6 times. They play, who else ahead of them? They play Cleveland, right? They play Boston. They play New York again. So, it's not the end of the world. We're going to have to see now. If the Rays are still playing 500 baseball months from now, then, we're going to have some conversations. But, in a month that's been as horrid as this one for the Rays, you have to try to find some optimism in order to kind of continue watching every day. Obviously, I'd watch the Rays every day, even if they basically lost every game. I still love watching the Rays. But, there is a different type of optimism and excitement that can be injected in this club by looking back at, like, man, we're 4 games back and we're going for it. Not going for it, but making moves to make us better. We didn't tear down our team. Brandon Lau's on this roster. Yandy's on this roster. Griffin Jax is still on this roster. I'm just praying that we get good news about Aranda going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see. But, Pete Fairbanks stays with the Rays. Brandon Lau, Yandy Diaz, and the fact that you got Griffin Jax 1-for-1 for Taj Bradley, I think, in my opinion, is an utter steal. So everyone is going to be on their tiptoes, waiting to see what happens with Aranda. But I really hope that the Rays can get some good news on that front. So as we go to Jordan Fowler, by the way, always commenting some optimism, love it. And he's also, I think that's a Just Baseball Cap, good podcast over there as well. Now there is clarity on the team. Second half will be better. I really hope so. I'm with you. The Rays literally could not play as bad as they did. Sorry for the leaf blower right next to me. Cannot play as bad as they did this month. So there is, some optimism going into the stretch against the Dodgers and the 2-week road trip. I'll be at the first few games in Anaheim, so hopefully I can bring the Rays some luck when I'm there. But there are still things to look forward to in the last 52 games. 52 games left, guys. A lot of time to make up those 4 games. We saw what the Blue Jays did in a month, right? Not even 3 weeks. The Rays have a good week. The Rays have a good 2 weeks, and they're right back in this thing, man. They really are. So don't be too discouraged. I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible after a 1-6 road trip. After Ryan Pepiot had his worst outing of the year. But, I'm trying to be optimistic. So the best part about baseball, we're going to flush all this tomorrow and watch our beloved Rays tomorrow against the world champion. So hopefully some of you guys can make it out there, bring some energy in this team. Hopefully, we see a different type of energy going into these last 52 games of the season. So again, if you guys are watching the replay, watching it live, make sure you leave a like before you get out of here. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you guys for watching.